What's up, guys? This is episode 25 of the 5D Warrior podcast. As always, I'm John, here with
Corey,
and we're talking about dreams today.
in alternate planes of existence, where our third eye can take us, where meditation can take us, in altered states of consciousness.
Yeah, so first let's dive into what is the third eye. The pineal gland right here that taps us into higher levels of frequencies or higher planes of existence and or realities. So the pineal gland gets calcified since the minute that you're born and set foot onto this earth, with all things that the government pushes on us, our foods, our mainstream media, fluorinated water, all things to lower our vibration and calcify that pineal gland. Our goal is to decalcify that pineal gland and start to access those higher planes of existence.
And not only can you decalcify your pineal gland by changing what you consume. I'm gonna wait for this to pass. We got an ambulance. God bless. Hope they're okay.
We could just keep going.
So not only can you decalcify your pineal gland, by changing what you consume, but also changing consciously and using different methods to heighten your awareness and level up your consciousness above those around you. Certain things like meditation, meditative movement like qigong or tai chi, mindful thinking as you're just going about life. What else we got?
Literally any of these practices. It starts with meditation though, because I think meditation is the easiest experience to realize that the pineal gland is there and that it's activated, right? So when we sit down in a meditation, literally within a couple minutes of you just being conscious of your breath, you will start to feel your pineal gland maybe start going like this. They call it rapid eye movement, or pulsing. REM sleep, or rapid eye movement sleep, is our deepest sleep in that it's our sleep when we have our dreams, right? And why are we having our dreams during rapid eye movement sleep? It's because that is when the pineal gland is at its utmost ability and working fully, right? So you could access this pineal gland with meditation through conscious breaths, and it'll ultimately start to pulse, start to shake almost, and you'll feel it. You can almost feel it sometimes.
You can feel a tightness.
And you can almost feel it open up like this. This is no joke. I advise you go out and try it and understand what we're talking about, because if you don't try it, you'll think this is all fugazi, right?
And all these practices, we'll say it again, starts with the breath and understanding that breath is vitality and breath is life force. And when you put your awareness in the breath and you put the awareness in your body, you start to change your state of consciousness. When you enter a deep meditation, you're going to be watching your dreams. It's literally watching your dreams, and you're creating these sacred geometric shapes that are popping up in front of your face, and these stories that are playing out in your subconscious mind, and you're just viewing it objectively from a third person perspective, and that's how you can see emotional, spiritual progress.
Yeah, and you just said, like, observing it from a third party perspective, right? It goes hand in hand with the third eye, right? These eyes are meant to perceive this reality from a state of being that is fully immersed in this reality, right? I like to think of our third eye as an eye that observes from that third party perspective, right? So when you project, we say like you project your consciousness out into higher planes of existence, right? It's literally that, in the sense that when you activate this pineal gland, they say to stare down your pineal gland, make the triangle like this and just stare down that prism, right? And when you do that, it almost takes you take a back seat in what you're experiencing, and it projects your consciousness out into something that is not of this reality.
And there's a lot of ways that you can open this pineal gland consciously, not just through meditation, but through different yogic and Buddhist practices will actually allow you to awaken that third eye. So you have the throat lock, which is one that opens up the throat chakra, and you reach your tongue in the back of your throat like that, you put your shoulders up like that, and you breathe in with your mouth closed, and you hold your breath right there, and you're reaching your tongue back in the throat, and you're going to feel the blockages, and you're going to feel that chi be able to move up through your throat. You have the abdominal lock, right, which is, some people know, is a vacuum for their stomach, where you breathe in, breathe all the way out, and then suck up and suck the gut up under the heart, and you see the rib cage, and it's very good for strengthening your core muscles, strengthening your posture, but also allowing you a different headspace to meditate in. And then the last one is the root lock, which is at the root chakra. You tighten your perineal, which is your butthole, and almost like you're flexing your genitals, and you sit and you flex it, and you feel the chi or prana move up through the chakras, up through your spine. You're supposed to feel that energy project out of your third eye into the ether.
Yeah, and with this comes these crazy dreams or experiences that we have, in a sense. So when you open up that third eye and then you go to bed that night, say you have a crazy meditation. Crazy meditation being, maybe you see something, you have like a trippy vision or something, you see something that is otherworldly to you that you're not familiar with, and that will happen in a meditation. There's been times where I've seen, one of the very first times I meditated, I saw myself holding a baby, right, that was like, I like to think as my child in the future. That was one of the very first times that I activated that pineal gland and had like a vision of sorts. Different from a dream that you would have at night, but still in this, because I was conscious of the dream. But that's not to say you can't be conscious of your dreams when you go to sleep at night. So Corey talks a lot about this idea of lucid dreaming and the idea that you could be conscious during a dream. And there's a bunch of different ways to be conscious during a dream
and practice
being conscious during a dream. And one of the ways that I do is, Corey taught me this, is the dream check or reality check. Just coupled to whenever you're doing nothing throughout your day, just try and push your fingers through the palm of your hand and say to yourself, is this a dream? Is this a dream? Is this reality? Like, what am I experiencing right now? And if you do that over and over again, it'll train your subconscious to, when you are dreaming, to essentially do that act in a dream. But when you're dreaming, because it's a dream, your fingers will go straight through your palm. And that activates almost like a psychedelic trip within that dream, because now you're like, holy shit, I'm awake. This is a dream. I'm now awake in this dream, and now I've just became lucid. Now I have full control over what I experience in this dream. And when I say full control, I literally mean full control. You can make anything happen in these lucid dreams. Go ahead, I gotta sneeze.
And this is the first attention of dreaming. Bless you. Bless you. You get one more.
I got one more.
So the second you become aware in a dream is the first attention in lucid dreaming or dream yoga. That awareness and the lucidity is you understanding where you are isn't real. And I'm sure you've seen The Matrix when Morpheus says, what is real? And that's very true. And when you're going about your daily life doing these reality checks and you really question what is real, you walk through a doorway and say, okay, now I'm in a new room. Is this a real room? You'll ingrain that in your head to do it in a dream, and once you do it in a dream, it's an extremely profound experience, and you'll find it for yourself. And there's other ways to practice this lucid dreaming aspect. One is laying in bed completely still, practicing 4-7-8 breathing or any other type of controlled breathing before you go to bed, and it almost lets you fall into lucidity. Last night, I was practicing the 4-7-8 breathing before I went to bed, and we were golfing yesterday, and I was having a lucid dream that his brother threw a golf ball at me, and I was laying completely still in bed, and I flinched. but I was fully like awake. It just seemed so real. Like
First, tell them what the 4-7-8 is.
So the
we know what that is.
Okay, so the 4-7-8 breathing is 4 seconds in, 7 seconds hold, and then 8 seconds out. And you're going to repeat that breath, and you'll fall. It might be a bit tough for the first 3 rounds of it, but then you'll start to fall in. You'll feel your heart rate lower, your blood pressure will lower, and your body will begin to cool down, and your mind will be able to settle, if that's a good word for it. Your mind begins to settle, and you begin to see your mind from a perspective you haven't seen before.
Yeah, and it breaks when you become lucid. You fully break through that. Not fully, but it's like the first step to breaking through that veil. Because I like to think of it in a dimensions of consciousness aspect. People talk about the astral plane, right? And in order to get to the astral plane, people say you must astral project. But every night when you go to sleep and you have a dream, you are astral projecting, because you are projecting your consciousness astrally out into something that we haven't experienced before. So every night when you dream, you are essentially astral projecting, whether or not you're conscious of it. So when you talk about inducing like a astral projection or dreaming or a lucid dream, right? We would say we're in the 3rd dimension right now. When you become lucid in a dream or in any dream, you are in the lower levels of the astral plane, the low 4th dimension up. They say the astral plane goes from the 4th dimension, I believe, up until the 5th dimension. And there's levels to the shit.
So the lower astral
levels
plane,
to the shit.
yeah. So the lower astral plane is full of unconscious dreamers, negatively polarized entities of higher density than us. Maybe lost souls, so people who died but their souls were not able to leave this earth plane, they're stuck here. So those are 3 examples of things that would be stuck in the lower astral plane. The middle astral plane would be full of low 4th density, positively oriented beings or souls. It would be full of conscious dreamers, lucid dreamers. And then the higher planes of the astral realm would be what you consider heaven, with angels, heavenly figures, celestial bodies.
Positive entities.
Just positive energy. So when you come to lucidity in a dream, you start to be able to move through these different levels of the astral plane, if you will. And one thing that I've been practicing with in my astral projection and my lucid dreams, for the most part, has been trying to become lucid in a dream and then break out of the dream. So once you're lucid in a dream, you don't need to stay confined to that dream that is going on. So you could follow the storyline that your subconscious mind lays out for you. But if you so please, you can break the veil. And you can literally shatter that reality in front of you and access a plane that is so much deeper than what you thought the dream world really was.
Think about Inception and the idea. If you've never seen Inception with Cillian Murphy and Leonardo DiCaprio, go check it out. But it's essentially like by the end of it, they're in a dream within a dream within a dream, right? And this is the whole idea of lucid dreaming, how Leo wants to construct this perfect life with his wife, right? But the only way it could happen is if he's in a lucid dream, because I believe his wife died or some crazy shit happened. But he becomes lucid in these dreams, and you see the buildings are going like 360 and all this like crazy shit's happening in the dream, and it's because he has full control. He's the architect. He's the architect of his dreams, right? He's building this life that is not impossible to create in this 3rd dimension, but much harder to create in this 3rd dimension, and way easier to create in a lucid dream, because anything is possible. And it's the idea that in this lower 4th dimension, you're in an infinite plane of existence where you could download or create into fruition anything at the snap of a finger, or at the thought in your mind, right? So you're almost, just think about lucid dreaming as you being the architect of your dreams. You could have anything you want. You're pulling from God or the infinite creator, because everything exists in the dream world. You have dreams every night where you're like, holy shit, this would never happen in real life, but it could happen in real life. It's just maybe too far out to actually happen to you. But when you're in the dream world, anything is possible. So when Corey says you have to break the veil or shatter the veil or break out of the dream, there's no reason why, if me and Corey are in a dream and we're just running for a jog or something and then we both realize we're lucid, there's no reason we should keep running. Why not just jump off the ground and start flying, right? And that's the whole idea. And a lot of times, for me at least, I'll notice I'm in a dream. Maybe if we all been in dreams where you're running and you're running really slow for some reason, you feel like you're dragging along, or you're in a fight with someone.
Your punches don't do
anything. Your punches suck, or two, you think you're freaking Andrew Tate out here, Bruce Lee out here. So that's another thing. So any out of the ordinary thing could make you realize that you're in a dream, or so
keep an eye out for things that seem abnormal.
Yeah.
So for me, I'll keep an eye out. Okay, am I flying right now in my dream? This is unrealistic. Do I look out of the window and see I'm in the middle of the ocean? Oh, that's unrealistic. Things like that would not be happening in your daily life. Do a quick reality check, and it'll tell you every time whether you're in a dream or not.
Yep.
And then once you're lucid, the biggest thing when creating your dream world or going about lucid dreaming is belief and intent. So belief and intent are very important in relation to the dream world, because the same principle with manifestation in this reality, if you don't believe in your manifestation, if you don't believe in your dream, it will not come to fruition. But if you put your full intent and belief behind that manifestation, because in the dream world that's exactly what it is, it comes to truth right in front of you. So if you fully believe in your head that you can fly, you will take off the ground. If you fully believe in your mind in a dream that you can shoot energy out of your hands like a Jedi or an avatar, you will be able to do that. If you want to teleport to Japan from somewhere in the United States, if you put the belief behind you that you can do it, you will be able to do it. You have superpowers in the dream world. You have superpowers here, but it's much harder to believe in those superpowers in this third dimension.
Yeah, and it's all about the belief and intent too. So like Corey said, you gotta have that belief and intention while you're lucid dreaming, but things manifest much more quickly in a lucid dream, right? Versus this dimension. All the things that are possible in a dream are possible in this dimension, because think about it like this. You can't die in a dream. You can't die in a dream because you've never experienced death. Our minds can't perceive death. So essentially anything that's happening in your dream, even if you think it's even like flying, if you think, oh, it's not possible to fly, well, maybe it isn't possible to fly in this dimension, but it's not something that is truly impossible, because there's been yogis and monks out there who have been known to levitate. So flying is not completely, flying maybe like Iron Man's not an option, but levitation is a real thing that these gurus and monks and yogis can have access to. It's one of the cities, right? So putting that intention and that belief into our practices in this reality is a great way to start to build and manifest your dream world in this reality, and also use the dream world as one of your tools to manifest things in this life much quicker, right?
It's a training ground. Use the dream world as your training ground to practice your manifestation, because if you're successfully able to manifest whatever you want in the dream world, it will come to you that much quicker in this physical reality, because you're able to put that belief, that intent behind your thoughts in your mind. All you need to do in this third dimension is put the action behind it, because nothing happens in this third dimension without action. So if you put the belief, intent, and action all together,
and add that love into it.
Add the love into it.
Because you're never going to get anywhere without the love. You got to be fully embraced with love for your manifestations to manifest.
That's a matter of fact.
There's another thing though. I've talked about this before in Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. He talks about, it's all about money consciousness, but I'll get through this real quick. One of the aspects of it is sitting down at night when you meditate And think about who are the most successful people that you would want to meet, right? And essentially, quantum jumping is a form of meditation where you jump into a quantum realm of existence that isn't true to your true reality, essentially a lucid dream. And Dale Carnegie would sit in these meetings, or Napoleon Hill, one of them, would sit in these meetings with these like profound individuals and in his dreams and have conversations with them nightly, like nightly meetings with all these profound figures, until the point in his life where he used all the tools they were giving him every night to manifest his reality that much quicker, because he took all the knowledge from all these individuals that were like successful businessmen at the time, and he was able to manifest his rich life that much quicker because he had, say, 10 extra ideas, 10 extra people's like ideas about business and all their knowledge too. He was no longer trying to do it himself.
And bring it into a dream perspective where he was able to take a metaphysical idea, these people's ideas in the metaphysical realm, an alternate plane of existence, and then apply it into this third dimension with intent, belief. If you have intent and belief behind these ideas, they will manifest in this reality. That's what we're doing with this podcast. We put the intent behind making these videos, making these TikToks, getting an audience, reaching people and touching people through the power of consciousness, so that we can build and grow and build a community out of this. And that's all it's about. We do this out of love. We do this out of our strong belief in what we believe in. And if you just put your mind to something that you're passionate about, you will reach people with it and you will touch people with it. And that's the whole purpose of this, is to be able to touch and interact with as many souls and other beings on this plane as possible, building a family, a community on this earth, because at the end of the day, we're all one. We're all humans here. We're all part of Mother Gaia. Give thanks to the sun because we're alive.
One thing I just thought of is like Corey said, we're building the collective consciousness here. If you sit down in a meditation every night or a lucid dream, and in that dream you're manifesting collective consciousness, it'll manifest in this reality that much quicker. So I challenge all of you to, if you ever become lucid in a dream, if not in your meditations, just envision a world where we're of oneness and peace and joy and love and a 5D earth and all this good stuff, and it'll rapidly manifest that much quicker because we are putting the belief and intent behind it and making it a true reality. And the real plane of existence is right here, right now. Tap into that infinity realm of consciousness, that ether, that fourth dimension, that dream world, the lucid dream world, all of this stuff.
Because infinity is all around us. We literally are infinite souls in finite bodies, infinite souls on an infinite plane of existence in an infinite universe. But the only thing that's not infinite,
what's not infinite,
is this podcast. This podcast is not infinite.
Thank you for joining us today with the 25th episode of the 5D Word podcast. Today we're calling out.
Let's do a positive call out.
No. There's no such thing as positive call outs. We're calling out Dick Cheney's daughter. I believe her name is Liz Cheney, who is like running the January 6th trials right now. Extremely controversial trials. Drop in the comments what you think about January 6th. We're getting hella political on the 5D podcast. That's who we're calling out.
Political.
Stupid.
Liz Cheney.
I think that's her
I don't even know who you are.
I don't even care what your name is.
I don't know who you are.
Lizard Cheney. That's what we're going.
Lizard Cheney. All right. We're watching you, YouTube.
We're watching. As always,
Adonai.
peace and love.